All right, guys, what is going on, man? What a day so far, huh? What a day, big dog. Okay. What is it, 12:07? All right, yeah, so it is the beginning of our live stream today. And I'm not shocked at today, but I think we're gonna get lower pricing. Now, the issue is, dude, is man, like Nasdaq 15-minute time frame. Gosh. Barcode. Straight barcode, dog. Now, it's not to say there isn't opportunity. There's definitely opportunity to take the market up to, let's say, some highs today, for example. Oh, yeah. And some people caught some good trades today. No issues there. But I was not wanting to long And that simply was because of ES as well as micro ES, which brings me to my first point for today. I have swapped over to September. I've swapped over to the September contract. So ESU, YMU, and NQU, all 2025. I posted in the Discord earlier that the volume and open interest has now, I didn't even check yesterday, but I know today that the volume and open interest is now on the September contract. So that's why. All right. What's good? Dante, Naruto, Tang, Sean, Jorks, Felix, Willow, Tordy, Pot, Big James. No entry for me today. It'd be like that sometimes. What's good? Anwar, AJ, Rich off the dip. Back from vacation. Welcome back. What's good? Marshall, Fortune. Who else? Who else did I miss? We were trading between two regular trading hours gaps for some point. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, man. When the market is in between, you know, like let's say, for example, two gaps like that, or let's say the middle of a range, if there is liquidity on both sides of the market, that to me is low probability condition. Oh, it was good, Hot Shot. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to forget you, big dog. I didn't do that on purpose. So earlier, this to me was looking like a wonderful sell model. These are not equal lows. But micro is. So there's a slightly lower low here, but that can still act as the target for the downside. So here's what I don't like. Okay. Let's just say, because I may not be correct. All right. Let's just say, for example, that it is a sell model. And if this was our low risk short to go lower, okay, that's fine. But now, like that to me could be low resistant highs. So it's like, okay, well, shit, that may be a target for later, but we might want to run the low first. Okay, no issues there. You go look at Nasdaq, right? First of all, this is what I posted earlier in the Trade House Telegram. This is what I was screenshotting, was Nasdaq on a 15-minute time frame. Because earlier, it had looked pretty much like this. So I'm looking at that, and I'm going, no, y'all got it. If you find opportunity, hey, go for it. But me, I'm staying the fuck out of that. So Consolidation Nation, outside the range, inside the range. Outside the range, inside the range. Outside the range, inside the range. Internal range, back inside the range. Outside the range, back into the range. Like today, dude, oh man. I do not like that. I don't like that. Okay? But again, that's just me. Is there opportunity? Oh, of course there is. Absolutely. Because there were people trading today and they took some excellent trades, and I would never argue, you know, with that. I would never argue against a winning trade. That's just stupid. But for me personally, no, I don't care for that. But anyway, the point is, Nasdaq, some low resistant highs. You know what I mean? So gross. And then Dow, I don't know what to do with Dow. So what can we do for this afternoon? For now, as of right now, I favor shorts. If I'm wrong, market goes long, I guess. What's good, Shay? What's good, Flacco? What do you think about the price action left behind on YM? The way it left the highs on the 1 minute. I don't know what to do with Dow. I mean, the 1 hour had some lows. To Today I just think it's S. So that's just, again, that's just my personal preference. You might think it's clean. No worries. The high of day. Are you talking about these up here? Those? Yeah, that'll probably be a target for later too. It just like the other day, it would have been better, I think, if we left equal highs at the high of day instead of how it is now. You know, but I don't make the rules. We got those same highs here on ES too as well. So it's the PM session. So if it were, I doubt the market's going to do this, but if it was me, if I was the one that was like making this market today, I would run it lower, clear equities open low, clear this low, and then run that bitch higher for anyone who did catch shorts. You know what I mean? So this whole like run the low, trade back into the range, I would continue that today. I would continue that. So I did talk about, I usually do not talk about Swiss franc, but I did today. And I don't think it's doing here what I would have wanted to see in the second half of what I wanted. So basically, if you look at Swiss franc, all right, and we have some really clean lows down here and somewhat of a consolidation, right? Nice lows. We were in higher. This is a daily imbalance up here, and there was a really nice inversion model right there. We did make a new low here, and then we made one more. So what I would have wanted, and again, I don't think I'm right anymore, but to me, I think this could trade lower. I just didn't like how deep of a retracement this is. So, yeah. I know I don't talk about currencies a lot. Sometimes y'all still ask me, you know, about Forex or whatever. Personally, I think that looks decent. I think that looks okay. Now, I haven't traded Swiss franc in a long fucking time. I can say that. And then with euro, I meant to say this the other day and I didn't, but 113.71 is some equal lows. So, what did we talk about yesterday? Dollar. Talked about dollar going lower. It did not. Right? So, if we are going to trade higher instead, that's fine. What is the euro likely to reach for? 1370s or 1360s probably. So that's still about 120 pips or so from here. So there is that. And then for the dollar index, this is what I was referring to. And I think I mentioned that in one of the market reviews from last week. I talked about April lows being taken, and that if we are going to trade higher, 99.40 would basically be the upside. So we did trade higher here, no problem. And then we started to go lower on Monday, and that's when I was like, okay, well, shit, maybe we take those lows. And then we don't. So we just leave those, and now we're trading higher. So it's like, okay, if we're not going to do that, then it's probably going to run up to the 99.40s. So again, that to me would be in sync with euro trading down here. Make sense? So we cleared some highs during New York, traded lower, and looks like we're about to make a new low. Make sense? Eddie, you can post a chart. I mean, it looks like pound is weaker than euro, so that may have been better, honestly, than euro shorts. So good job. I don't know what the downside objective would be here. Oof. Well, clearly that low, which is like all of 3 pips away. Maybe the low of May 29 here. That would make sense. 1, 2, 3 formation highs on the daily. Monday was the NCE to go lower, which is obviously hindsight. I didn't even mention that yesterday, but you can see how that works though, right? There's a nasty inversion on NQ. Well, and again, that's what I was saying, Hotshot. I personally did not like the indices this morning, but that doesn't mean there was an opportunity. You know what I mean? Because I even have a couple of markups in here like that. I thought about trading that one. I didn't. And then I thought about trading that gap. I didn't. And then we went higher. I'm like, okay, well, that's not a big deal. And I want to say you have to double check, but I'm pretty sure this low at 844, 845, I'm pretty sure that low wasn't taken on ES. Or maybe it wasn't taken on Dow. I think Nasdaq was the only one that did that. That, to me, justifies going higher, which would have been cool for some scalps. But I think if you had held on too long, right, this is what happens. Equities open low. We attacked that already. So when we talk about context, when I tell you guys like, oh, we have equities open high and low, we have previous days high and low and stuff like that, do you guys see why the market moves the way that it does? When we talk about, oh, if you held on too long, you know, market's coming back to your entry or going to your stop or whatever, do you see how this stuff drop some ones in the chat if you guys are seeing like how this stuff works. The markets don't always move in a straight line. Most of you know that. Like, for example, if you traded that here, didn't take any partials, and you were trying to swing for the fences, again, nothing wrong with that, you know, minus the taking partials part. But if you were to, let's say, walk away and, I don't know, just go do some shit, you see why the market comes back to these areas, not just the areas, but like to the lows specifically. You see that, right? And hopefully that gives you some understanding as to why partials are important. Or like, say, this high here, right? Like, that's not previous session, but it means it's an overnight high. Boom. Small imbalance up here too. Those are good partials. And now you understand why all in and all out trying to reach, you know, for the fences doesn't always work, right? And that's exactly why. Looks good until it doesn't look good. Eddie, I don't understand. Snap watching on my phone, otherwise would have posted a chart. Oh, you're watching the live stream on the phone? That makes sense. So there, I think we got matching lows now. And then Dow's kind of, it's catching up lower to a degree. Took long on NQ, took partial and was stopped break even. Right, Torty. So those days aren't always fun, but at least it's a green day. So Better than a loss every time. There's never a time where a break even after taking a partial isn't better than a loss. Every time. Every time. So, man, I feel weightless right now, dude. Like, I have not eaten today. My stomach is empty. I feel hollow, you know what I mean? I feel like I could jump and the wind would take me down the street. So we'll see. But honestly, outside of what I already told you, probably run the low and then I would take it higher, maybe make a new high of day. I could see that. But as of right now, I would not be interested in longs. So I guess we'll keep it here for a minute. But yeah, this morning, generally a barcode, but just like I said earlier, when you go down to say like a 5 minute or a 1 minute, you do start to get a little bit more context. Equities open here, right? So equities, we open for Nasdaq within the range, and it trades down again just into like this, or ES, sorry, into this. Now, that slightly lower low, whatever, the bodies are lower here though. So to me, like the bodies here, that signifies a mitigation. So we trade down into that, off of it, down candle here, and then launch for those highs. So I think that's fairly clean. It's not bad. But when it comes to entries, right, I don't try to show you a lot of trades that are like this. Halfway to 75, right? Like this area here, that's not my favorite, you know, to trade. Scalping opportunities, yes. Is it my favorite way to trade? Absolutely not. No. And looks inverted. Like that down candle here to go higher. That looks like it got inverted right here. Lagos has been meal prepping this month. Feels great. Finally getting the right amount of food my body should be getting. Be grinding too much. I'd be forgetting to eat. Yeah, I remember those days. I don't really get those anymore, but I remember those days. It's like late in the evening time. You're like, oh, I'm hungry. And then you're like, wait a minute. Did I eat today? Nope. It's been a while since I've had one of those. Can you talk a little on liquidity? Like when you first hop on the charts, what about liquidity are you looking for? Okay. So number one, it obviously depends on where price is at. Okay. When you're in front of the chart, just like we did yesterday, you remember, let's go back to yesterday. I think we talked about Nasdaq at the very end. I think it was in here. I think the stream we had ended like right in here. And originally I thought we were going to trade higher. We did not. And then right at the end of the session, I was saying, where's the liquidity right now? You know, based on what price is doing. And I had pointed out those two lows right here. We kind of just didn't really do shit. And then we sank right for those lows. So it's fairly easy. Where you're at, okay? Where has price, where's it at right now? Where has it been and where's it going? Okay? Now you get to where it's going by understanding where it's at right now and where it's been. So if you look at just this from where we were yesterday, where has it been? Well, we had equities open here, almost no movement below equities open, and we rallied. We retraced, rallied again. So if the day is, if the day has been green, it's a current up close day, if price were to close right here, anyone who's been long from down here or in here, or even like longing up here, where are those stops going to be? The only low that's obvious is that one. You do have maybe like a low here. It's right below that one. So pretty much 22,140, 143, whatever, that area right there, that's where resting stops are. So now, mind you, this would have been like a reversal, been a counter, to what the day was kind of trade, but that's still opportunity. You know what I mean? And I don't remember what time frame we watched yesterday. It may have been a combination of both. But anyway, some highs got taken. We dropped lower, rallied, inversion in here somewhere, like right there. Kind of messy a little bit. Trades lower, rallies, imbalance. I don't even think we get through that here either. And then we trade lower. Find the liquidity, trade in that direction. Okay. So again, it's, there's your low. Big fella. There's your low. Boom. You like that? I think we're going to trade lower. ES not following suit. I don't know what fucking low Dow wants to go for. I guess that one's probably the first one if it does. If it does. It doesn't have to. But at least Nasdaq done it. Boom. How hard was that? It's the same shit. Now, again, I may not always, take trades, okay? But you asked about liquidity. It's very simple. Where are the stops? Whoever's in profit right now, where do they have their stop loss? Where are the most obvious lows at? The most distinctive. Right? I like it if it's obvious. I want the most obvious fucking thing that there is. Right? When it's distinctive like that, that's obvious. When these highs, those are clean, those are obvious. That's our high of day. So this, again, may be, I'm not saying it is right now, because it wouldn't make sense. Like, let's go to micro. It wouldn't make sense to leave these lows that clean, just hanging out there. Could it do that? Sure. I just wouldn't like it. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, fuck. So I'm not saying that this is a buy model, but it's looking exactly like that. Right? Run or sweep the low, sweep the low, run to the highs. That's what it's looking like. When I decide to not put risk on is when we have pretty much what we have here, where NQ takes the low. Wonderful. But ES just leaves behind, on the micros, it just leaves behind those. That I cannot stand. It can leave those. This could be the low to PM session, and it could run up here. But I would rather not see that. Okay? So does that answer your question about liquidity here? One of your lives, you talked about time-based stop loss. Could you explain, please? Do you have some examples to show? Thanks. That's a great question. So a time-based stop. Let me see if I can even give you an example. Live price, meaning. So, okay. Let's say that I don't go down to a 1 minute. even though I like to. If I think this is the low and I want to enter on the next candle, I'm going to give the following candle a closure. I may wait for one more candle. And if it's not doing what I want by then I'm probably wrong, and that could be a time-based stop. If we are okay, let's go to let's do a hindsight example. Let's say in here, okay, that imbalance that I watched it, decided not to touch it, even though that was right at 850, right at our macro too. I should have done that, but I didn't. If we trade into that at 849, okay, I'm going to give this imbalance probably at most 5 candles before it needs to go higher, or I'm probably wrong. Because it could just trade right through that and then go for the low, and I could just be wrong. This is what you want to see. You want to see price responsive. You don't want to see it dick around like some of y'all at work waiting for the time to go by to clock out to go home, right? I'm just fucking with you. But I used to do that. Okay. You want to give it 3 to 5 candles at most. That's my opinion. But that depends on which time frame. And this is a 1 minute. I'll give it 3 to 5 minutes. If it's a 5 minute, 2 or 3 candles might be 10 to 15 minutes. See, like here, for example, I'm not saying to long it right now, but I'm saying like if I want to long it, would have stopped at this low, aiming for those highs. If it's 12:35, I'd probably give it till 12:45, maybe 1 o'clock to do what it's got to do, or that's it. Make sense? You could also, let's say, the macros as well. Let's say by the end of the macro, price hasn't done what you want or what you expected. Time-based stop. Now, again, that's just my opinion. So, price should not, if it's aligned with time, price, and context, price should not hang around your entry. It should not do it. In some instances, it could. But most of the time, the trade that you want should not spend a lot of time there. Now we're inside that lower regular trading hours gap. Reversals here would be interesting. They would be. They would be. I agree. So ES may just say, you know, fuck the low. They might just say, yeah, fuck the low. Just leave it. What's up, Giles? So that would basically be the risk, right? You're risking that this is accumulation, and you're going, okay, well, we'll play a retracement, stop at the low, aim for those highs. Same shit with Nasdaq, right? We did take the low, so now that's basically what the risk is framed around. And lo and behold, inversion model right there. Boom. Last imbalance. Liquidity sweep. We traded through it. Back into it. Boom. You see that? Wicking a 1 minute time frame. A lot of people can't do that. 3 to 5 candles later, it's like 20 something points higher. That's what you want to see. You want to see response. You don't want to see like this kind of shit. Just chilling. No. You don't want that. You want that. Make sense? So yeah, there's that. Big fellas. What other questions you guys got today? What else do you got for me? $38, $48. Okay. So if the low of the day has been set, right? And again, I'm not saying it is for Nasdaq, but if it is, that low here was swept as well as that one. So if it has been, if the markets are bullish, then this may become a mitigation. Right? If we can get through it, that may be a mitigation to thus exit any shorts, right? That smart money would be in to then exit those shorts, run that bitch. So now we wait. But yeah, see, look at that pullback. Look at that pullback, big fellas. Right back into that inversion. I just want to go back to the 5-minute real quick. That's what we were watching earlier. So again, in theory, this would be the next candle entry to go long. But as I already mentioned, the lows are too clean for me to trust. So I'm not going to put risk on that. It would also make sense if we could get a new low on Nasdaq for a soup. Lower low, below an old low. Soup that bitch. Low risk buy. Potentially up to new high of day. That would be cool. But that's probably asking for a lot. But hey, as Mark Douglas said, man, anything can happen. Was good, Yusuf. And again, now we wait. It's 12:40. We got a new 15-minute candle coming up in a few minutes, and then we have macro right after that. But do you guys know what I'm talking about when I say soup? Turtle soup, like that low, below an old low. Get people thinking that the low's been set, and then run that bitch again. And then ES runs its lows. That would be cool. Doesn't mean we're going to get that, but that would be cool. Then we could all have lunch. I could have lunch. Market makers could have lunch. You know, I might have chicken noodle soup. Market makers could have turtle soup, and then all is well. Let's check Swissy for a minute. I don't know what she's doing. Yeah. Hasn't done a whole lot. See, we started to get a little bit of a retracement. Hit that imbalance. Inverted mitigation there too. I want to try and talk about inverted mitigations until it takes off. Because I still feel like most people still don't use that. Or still don't even know that it's there. So imbalances, right? Everyone knows about fair value gaps, right? Or inversion fair value gaps. But people always sleep on the inverted mitigation. But it's there. If you guys didn't know this, okay, there's like almost 70 of you on here. In case you guys didn't know this, every concept has a premium and discount, and every concept can be inverted. Every concept. Do you guys get that? Every concept. Well, except maybe the NCE, because that's based on the next candle's entry. That doesn't really have, I can't say there's an inversion on that. But for everything else, there's the imbalance, inverted imbalance, mitigation, inverted mitigation. Off the top of my head, I can't think of what else. But basically every entry technique, it can be flipped, if you will. Okay. ES not looking too bullish, is it? We could not get through that imbalance, huh? Kind of just hit that, immediately lower. Not too bullish, huh, chat? Mitigation. Inverted. Long here. Long here. Nope. Inverted. You guys didn't see that, did you? Fuck, I didn't see that either, but told you every concept can be inverted. Look at it. Look at that. Inception, huh? Do you guys remember that from a couple weeks ago? We talked about something with Inception in it. I think it was the buy model. I think it was a buy model inside of a buy model inside of a daily, weekly buy model. It was insane. It's kind of like that. And that looks like shit. That is not out of the ordinary. So what do you guys think? Is it bullish or bearish? What do you think? $6,045. Can we get it? Boom. I don't trust those lows. Now you know why. Big fellas. Now you know why. Now, this wasn't entirely the greatest example of a low resistant liquidity run. There really wasn't a lot that I would trust to send price higher. Right? Like we did have an imbalance right here. And price did respond a little bit, but again, all it did, hit that up candle, imbalance, immediately lower. And that means NQ probably souped. Boom! Look at that shit. Look at that soup, big fella. See? They thought, oh yeah, that's the fucking low. Nope. No sir, no ma'am. And that's why we don't trust clean lows. They're too clean. They're too clean. Find a liquidity, trade in that direction. How hard is that? Hey man, that's a nice car. What do you do? What do I do? My best, baby. What do you mean? No, I'm playing. I had that conversation yesterday. I didn't tell him that though. I should have. I should have been fucking with him. But anyway, yeah, Rich. No, I don't control the market, Martin. I just know there are okay. You know how they say a broken clock is right twice a day? That's, I mean, I'm not that off, but if you think about that, the market may not have opportunity all fucking day. And then maybe once or twice a day, oh shit, the stars are aligned. You know what I mean? Boom. Then you go in. That's what I try to look for. Okay? That's what I try to look for. I don't like trading like this. You know what I mean? Like using a mitigation from fucking London as an inversion to go lower. I don't typically care for that, but that's part of the second leg of distribution. So remember, we talked about this. If this was the low risk short, we definitely crossed 50%. Barely got back in a premium. That down candle that was utilized for higher, I told you that was an inversion too. Now, mind you, that was 100% hindsight. Of course it was. Through it, into it, off of it. Or excuse me. Through it, into it, lower. Mitigation. Through it, into it, lower. Every concept can be inverted. I mean, look at this shit. You got this fucking imbalance right here. Boom. To it, through it, back into it. Inversion inside of an inversion as part of the second stage of distribution. Now, the reason I don't talk about this a lot, and welcome Struce to the SMS membership. This is probably now the manipulation phase of a buy model if we're going to get one. But the reason that I don't mark up every single concept is because your chart would look, it would be too much. You'd get analysis paralysis. But look how precise some of these things are. And again, I don't always get it right. You know what I mean? Sometimes I get it wrong. Like yesterday. Yesterday was, you know what I mean? Wasn't all that great personally. But you have to study price. You know what I mean? What was once bullish becomes bearish. What was once bullish becomes bearish. The law of the return. That's in the 48 Laws video that was put out, I don't know how many months, like 2 or 3 months ago. The PDF, you have that. You already have a PDF that explains exactly what happened today. Do you realize that? Do you realize that? You already know this stuff. Some of you might think like, oh shit, this is badass, man. John's a fucking badass. Not really. Well, sometimes, sure. But for the most part, you already know this. The information is out there. You have to study it. And then we got there even before the macro. Because the macro is here. That's crazy. That's pretty fucking cool though, huh? So, ES, we got our lows. Nasdaq, that's not looking like a soup anymore. Nasdaq just looks like just dog shit. You know what I mean? Like, you ever just went outside and then just fucked around in the grass for some reason and you just step in dog shit, bro? That's what this is. This is horrible. This is pretty ass, I must say. And yeah, one of you that mentioned this was correct. This regular trading hours gap from Friday the 13th, right, up to Monday's open, yeah, that gap we have met as well. So I don't consider gaps liquidity, but I do consider them a target. That's it. That's all I got, man. ES traded to the low end of this one. Where's that off? There we go. So, I'm not saying it's going to be our low of the day, but if it is, I wouldn't be surprised. Don't be surprised if that's our low of the day. Don't be surprised if she asks where the cash at. Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, unless you guys have any final questions, that's all I got for you. That's where I'm going to leave it today. So I felt like you guys got to watch live price. We expected it to go lower. It went lower. I outlined not every concept beforehand, but I at least outlined, you know, what I would do if I was a market maker. I told you I'd drop that bitch lower and then run it higher. Now, it would take the rest of the session to find out if that's what's going to happen or not. But at least you got to see price delivery to the downside, right? And this is a really good explanation or a good understanding of how sometimes you may not always get a high of day at the first signature of a new high. This was a soup here at 1010. That's a soup because we have some old highs. We got a high and then a higher high above that. That's a soup. That's why I said earlier, well, this may be the low risk short. That's a fucking deep retracement. But nonetheless, that's still a low risk short. First stage, back in a premium, inversion, second leg of distribution. So the terminus, I know you guys probably haven't heard that word from me before, but terminus of a sell program potentially is the manipulation of the buy program. What is terminus? So again, I don't always get things right. Okay. I'm not always like, this is going to be the low of the day. This is going to be our high of the day. This is an add-on. This is da-da-da-da-da. Okay. I walk price like a dog sometimes, not every fucking day. Terminus means the target has been met and smart money is taking profits. It's basically, if this is a sell model, running the lows is terminus. If this was a buy model, if this is our low risk buy, a new high would be a partial, a new high would be a partial. That would probably be a mitigation later on. And then terminus would be up here. Basically think of like target. Terminus, target. Terminus would be 6,081 and a quarter. And probably above that. Make sense? Drop some T's in the chat. Drop the letter T if you guys understand. If you understand what that means. T for terminus. That's what we're looking for. Those are the kinds of trades that I'm looking for. Where is price going? What is it seeking? Is it in a buy program or a sell program? Last week we talked about that. We talked about the difference, right? At the market maker model as a system. The buy model starts off as a sell program. Then we get a shift in price delivery. Right? Gap, trade through it. I don't know if we go back into it, but if that's a shift in price delivery here, then if we're in a buy program, we should see higher pricing. Make sense? So again, we'll see. All right. I'm going to end the stream. I don't know if this is going to be the low of the day. It might be. It might be. But that's the risk that we take. We risk, okay, whatever low risk buy entry, stop at the low. It ain't going to be but a few points. And we have low risk, high potential. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'll follow up with this later on in the Discord. Either we go higher or we go lower. Okay? So with that being said, y'all be good, be blessed. Hopefully you guys learned something. Drop a like on the stream on your way out. I would greatly appreciate that. 60 something people. We had a high of like 70 today. Only 20 likes. Let's see if we can get those likes up on the way out. Appreciate you guys. I'll put out the market review later, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And I did not have my outro music ready.
She's